Good evening. Welcome to the State of Baker personal channel, or channel updates, wherever I put this video. So tonight I want to talk to you, give you a little bit of update about the channel. I haven't posted anything in a couple weeks. Been going through some major life changes. As you can tell, my background has changed a bit. Me and my family recently relocated from overseas to the United States of America, good old home. There's no place like it, nowhere in the world. The good old US of A. I want to talk to you in an unstructured way, which is kind of contrary to what we normally do. But I want to talk to you about some things that I've seen since I've been home. There's commercials on TV that are talking about, anti-racism and a whole bunch of other stuff. Critical race theory is exploding everywhere. You got help wanted for hire signs in every store down the strip, but unemployment's through the roof. Things don't really make sense a whole lot. Gas is exploding. Biden canceled the XL pipeline, but then he flew across the world to back the Russia pipeline. Burisma, I guess, must have been involved. I'm sure Hunter Biden is brokering some deal somewhere, making millions of dollars while we pay $1 more in gas. Way to go. Anyways, it's crazy, man. It really is crazy. I had to take a minute and readjust a little bit from my normal shows, just because if you notice, I had to start putting a disclaimer at the bottom. Anything I say does not represent the United States government. This is my personal channel. These are my own personal thoughts and opinions. But I really want to do this channel the right way. I want to try to be as informative as possible, giving you as much analysis as I can on topics that really matter. I will always want to encourage people to talk about, politics, religion, education, foreign policy, anything that all the conversations that need to happen, they need to happen. It's funny. So one of my family members recently made a comment. I love her to death, man. She told me, like, hey, will you shut up? Stop talking about this. It's time to eat. And I just kind of looked at her. I was like, yeah, polite conversation, huh? I got to get a laugh out of that one. But look, man, the conversations need to keep happening. There's a lot of people, dude, YouTube is exploding with, all these channels. The audit, Doug Tenaple, CamCon, Beheezy. There's a lot of people that are using YouTube to fight back against the mass media, and I think it's amazing. I really do. Because imagine, like, in all the other countries I've ever been to, whenever they have a problem with their media becoming propaganda, they don't really have a way around that. But fortunately, in America, especially with the Supreme Court ruling in some of the cases that they have recently, social media, they've become platforms. They've become the the digital town squares that they wanted to become, but now they can't moderate it like they want. They can't push their political agenda by canceling people, because now you have the federal courts, the Supreme Court, coming in and ruling against them. I mean, the Supreme Court came out and ruled, I think it was 9-0, California's assault rifle ban that was established in the late 1980s. That's unconstitutional. Man, I'm sure that made Gavin Newsom really happy. A huge win for the NRA and any gun lover, regardless of your political affiliation. So there's some good things happening, right? But man, we gotta get a handle on this craziness, man. COVID. We're still talking about COVID a year and a half later. Oh, accountability. I'm going to try to make a show about accountability. And there's really, look, man, the congressional hearings are cool. Nobody really watches them. Stop doing them. You're literally having a hearing, and I get it. I get it. You want to call people up. And the whole point of it is calling people up to swear that they'll tell the truth and whatever. Go on record with a statement like Fauci and what Rand Paul did to Fauci and what Ted Cruz has done to several of the congressional appointees that they've been doing the last several months since Biden took office. They want to get these people on record, so that way whenever they step out of line, they can point back to the record and try to hold them accountable, right? But what is accountability? I mean, Hillary Clinton did something that she literally took classified documents, put it on a personal server, and then said, I didn't know I couldn't do that. Dude, look, for all the individuals that are not aware, when you get a security clearance, when you get a security clearance, you are taught what the classifications mean. You are taught what you can and can't do. You know, it is very obvious what document is what. There's no mistaking it. It's not like, it's not like there's a little word at the bottom of a paper that says classified. No, it's big, very big. It is so dummy proof that you can take anybody. You can take an ASVAB waiver and teach them what a classification is. Okay. And these are our elected officials. Now, some people are sitting back and going, oh, well, they're civilians, they're elected officials, hold them to, no, you can't, no. It's national security, bud. There's no double standard. There's one standard. That's right or wrong. After the whole Clinton ordeal with the emails and all that mess, the DoD actually had to publish a white page, which is a letter that the military sends out, and in it it's informative, right? It's a way that the military can come out without writing a specific order. They'll just come out and publish these white papers and say, hey, distribute this everywhere. This is the policy, right? Well, they came out with a white paper that said the Clinton defense is not a defense. If you mishandle classified information, you cannot claim you didn't know. Clinton did it, but military members can't. I mean, come on, man. That's crazy. Yeah, it's nuts, man. But so accountability, right? So now the Fauci and the emails come out. What are we doing about it? Nothing. I personally, I don't think that anybody will. I don't think he'll be held accountable. I think some really heinous stuff happened. I think that the United States under the Obama administration ruled that gain of function research was too dangerous. So during the Obama administration, they said in the United States they will not do gain of function research. However, we were giving money to an organization that was then turning around and paying Wuhan to do gain of function research. Dude, you can't make it up, man. And to say, to say, and this coincides with another current event, right? So, if you've been paying attention in some of the congressional hearings, they've been talking about relief funding going to being used to fund terrorism. And all the people that are pushing to send U.S. tax dollars, U.S. money overseas, are saying, well, we give it to these countries. What they do with it's out of our hands. It's the same thing as Fauci saying, well, we give money away to these organizations. When they turn around and do with it, we don't really know it. Dude, that's horseshit. Stop giving money away. That solves the problem right there. If you stop giving money away, you won't be funding COVID. That kills millions of people. You won't be funding terrorists like Hamas. You won't be putting our allies in danger, like Israel. All right, foreign policy. So Kamala Harris decides to take a little trip down to Guatemala. Well, the president or prime minister of Guatemala, took her to task. It was epic. It was pretty good. Like you're gonna walk into this country and tell this guy who's lived in this country his entire life how he's screwed up and how they should change things in Guatemala. Hey man. Then she turned around and said, do not come to the United States. She made a public announcement saying, do not come to the United States. Now all the Democrats are up in arms about it. I mean, come on, man. You can't make this up. And to be the vice president of the United States of America, and you walk into another country, and you don't know what you're doing, you look like an idiot. When you come up, and then the best part is when I think it was CNN interviewed her. They asked her, like, so when are you headed to the southern border? Well, I'm not. Or we've been in the past, but you haven't been. So, I don't understand what the point is. Okay, well, the point is that as the Vice President of the United States of America, and this is a point that many people have been making, you represent the entire United States. You don't just represent D.C., California, New York. You represent the entire United States. So when you create an international problem with the southern border, it's your responsibility to know what the hell's going on. You're responsible for it. If you're not, you need to quit and leave. Or maybe somebody grow a pair and impeach both of you. I don't understand why that hasn't been talked about yet. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of it, back in January, February, but that's died down. I guess people are afraid, they're going to be removed from their committees. Like, was it Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think her name is. The freshman senator who got removed for trying to impeach Biden on day one. That took a pair. That was nice. I enjoyed that. Go you. But come on, like you're the vice president of the United States. Everybody knows that you want to be the first black female president of the United States of America. You're probably going to run for if you don't use the I think it's the 25th Amendment to get rid of Biden. You're probably going to run for office in 2024 because Biden ain't going to make it. So if you rig that election too, you might win again. I don't know. But you've never been to Europe, but you're making foreign policy. You've never been south of the border, or you've never been to our southern border, and you're making foreign policy. How back-asswards is this, man? Dude, like, you should be qualified. Like, and it's not just her. Look at AOC. The dumb crap that comes out of that woman's mouth. And she now because of, you need to go look at who she's getting paid by. You need to run her financials. You've been harping on Trump's tax returns. You still harp on Trump's tax returns for the last 5.5 years. Go look at who AOC is being paid by. That girl apparently owns like 3 or 4 condos in New York City and places where the real estate is sky high. You need to look into her. Figure out who's paying that woman. And you might understand why she's saying the dumb stuff she's saying. It's insanity, man. COVID hysteria is still a thing. On the plane over here, you gotta think, all right, so I've got a daughter. She's 2 years old, right? And nobody really gave us an issue except for this one flight attendant. And American Airlines, we're flying American, and the plane is packed. And when I say packed, I mean there is no empty seat whatsoever. But COVID's a thing. And they're saying, hey, wear your mask. You have to wear your mask. Because it's going to prevent you from getting sick. However, their food service comes around and you all eat at the same time. So you put your mask down and you're eating and breathing at the same time. Well, I hope you're eating and breathing. If not, you're going to pass out and probably die. So your mask down, you're breathing, you're eating, you're drinking at least 2 or 3 times during this long flight. dude, the masks are pointless, man. It ain't gonna help any. It's a metal tube with recycled air. If one person is sick, everybody in the entire plane is gonna be sick. Come on. And you're gonna pick on a 2-year-old because she doesn't want to wear a damn mask? I get it, you're just doing your job. But let's get rid of these stupid policies. Let's stop being dumb. Let's start using common sense. Dude, man. You know, people are still screaming, yo, why do you want to audit the elections? Why? Because people actually need to know what happened with their votes. You know, you need to, so between Smartmatic, Dominion, and ES&S. So I found out recently that North Carolina has ES&S. It's election systems and software, I think is what it stands for. But it's one of the 3 major ones besides Dominion and Smartmatic. And North Carolina uses those machines. You might want to start auditing North Carolina. And I'll see if I can't find Behezy's number and get a hold of someone down in Arizona and maybe link them up with someone in North Carolina and get them to audit their elections. You know, I get it. You know, North Carolina went Republican, but it was by a pretty close margin. Not only that, but yeah, all the governors. So people are pulling back the mask mandates, opening everything up, people going back to school. But these governors like Roy Cooper still have their emergency powers. Why? Why hasn't Congress, you know, the state Senate, the state Congress, come in and strip them of his emergency powers? Why are you still holding it? What end run are you waiting for from the Democratic Party to try and siege more power, or, you know, take more power away from, you know, common people? You know, this is not feudalism. We don't live in the feudal era. We are not your serfs. You are not the dictator. You don't serve a king. But that's the way you're acting. Go look at Gavin Newsom, California. He's the role model for everybody else. Look at that joker, was it Cuomo? Up there, Cuomo and his dumb brother up there in New York. Dude, that's a joke. You got the governor of New York, or is he the mayor? I think he's the governor of New York. The Cuomo, the governor of New York, who's responsible for all the nursing home deaths because of his stupid policies. Back when everybody knew it was a bad idea to do it in the first place. They're not gonna hold him accountable. You're not gonna hold Fauci accountable, even though he knew that he had been funding gain-of-function research in Wuhan. He knew that the masks were pointless. He knew everything. His emails prove it. You're not gonna hold these people accountable. The problem with that is, I really want to make a bigger show about crime and punishment, and essentially apply that train of logic, right? So a little sneak peek, right? So the main point of crime and punishment really focused, for me at least, around the death penalty. The death penalty is not there to punish the person who actually committed the crime. The death penalty is there to warn everybody else who might consider doing a similar crime, by letting them know, hey, this is the punishment, this is what will happen to you if you do the same thing. Now, I'm not saying we need to lynch people for stealing a horse, but what I am saying is that when people make crimes and you don't hold them accountable, like, there has to be a repercussion. Without a repercussion, they're going to keep doing it. You know, if we look back, the federal government, and I've said this in previous videos, the federal government will always try and take more power. It is a continual struggle between the government and the governed. Government to take power, governed to keep what power and rights they have, right? And our founding fathers knew it. You know, people bitch about the way that we run our elections because of the Electoral College. You know, well, this should be another show in and of itself, but the Electoral College was meant so that a city could not overrule the rural areas, because a person who lives in the city has different needs and different requirements than a person who lives out in town growing your farms. Your dense population centers should not, dense population centers occupy probably, less than a tenth of the geographic area of the United States. So why should those dense population centers make policy for the other 90% of the geographic United States? No farmer will ever have a farm again. In fact, farmers right now are losing. They're losing money. They're losing crops. They're losing their livelihoods. Because we're pushing like. So one of the big issues in Duplin County, North Carolina, is it has been for several years. They're going after hog farmers. Oh, by the way, hey geniuses, you let China buy Smithfield Packing, #1 hog producer in the world. And then you let another country buy the #1 beef producing or the beef packing company in the world. So two of the 4 top meat producers in the United States are now owned by foreign countries. What happens when they either shut them down or just start shipping all their crap overseas? What are we going to do then? Price for pork's going to go through the roof. Price for beef. Oh wait, price for beef's already going through the damn roof, like everything else. You are literally allowing foreign countries to come in and buy our country up and buy our critical infrastructure. Why? Why are we doing this to ourselves? How many times, if we continue to shoot ourselves in the foot, we're not going to have a damn foot to stand on. So anyways, this will be in the channel updates, the rant section. Thank you for listening. I'll put out another more structured video pretty quick, hopefully tomorrow. Have a good night, and thank you for watching.